Well, I guess call it a final one for tonight before anything else happens, Reverend. Quay. Yeah, it's 6:50 at night. It's still the 25th of October, 2024. And yeah, I am feeling my age still. I am feeling my age. When I went to these amusement parks, it was just you go over there to have fun, stroll around and deal with things. But I tell you, the one place I was trying to talk about, Knott's Berry Farm. If you're into fried chicken, this would have been a place to go for the fried chicken. I think they still have it, but I'm feeling more and more nostalgic when I'm starting to talk about this stuff. I mean, it was one thing talking about feminists and politics, get fired up on that stuff. And then I slow it down and go into nostalgia, and that's the wonder I'm trying to understand more and more about the conservative nut job thing going, because they want things the way they were. And the problem is the things the way they were at a younger time and a younger age when our brains were thinking of those things. But they're not these days. We're not in those days anymore. I was a young kid. I looked towards the future. Now I'm looking more and more at the past and wondering, were these guys right? Now I'm feeling more and more disillusioned about it. I am. I'm feeling more and more disillusioned about it because I'm not quite sure what to think about it anymore. How to feel about it, how to deal with it. It's like when I kept showing you things on the map, on the regular map itself. And sometimes it gets harder and harder for me to do the Google Earth because of the places I used to be at and some of the places I remembered compared to what now is. You're talking about throwing me for a loop at this point over here. It would make me very vulnerable to everybody else that thinks, well, you got to think along our way because we want things back the way they were. But we can't get them back the way they were. We'd have to be young kids during that time. That's the only way we remember the past is because we were young kids with those kind of memories and our thoughts and our feelings towards those days. And these days, a lot of things have changed. And it's still scary because we're still stuck in the past. I know I get stuck in the past a lot. I admit it on this one, Rev. I admit it. And it keeps hurting like hell every time I keep looking at the damn maps all the time because I keep remembering the places I used to be in. I no longer recognize. And if I happen to use the Google Earth Pro on this, I'm looking at the past and it's hurting even worse. All the things I've taken for granted and all the things I'm seeing now being, substituted and also seeing some of the things being repeated. Political events and everything else like that. Yeah, but we're talking about places. We're talking about people. We're talking about things that happened during those times. The nostalgic memories we have in our damn brain cells that we keep thinking back. Oh, and not to mention the thoughts that keep lingering around and saying, wouldn't have been great if. And that's what gets me even worse. When I start going back in the past like this, and it's history. It hurts. I don't know how the history professors do it without getting that kind of pain. I don't know how they can do it, their memory recall without bringing forth the emotional trauma. Emotional trauma of the situations I was as a kid or a teenager, as a young man, and going back to those memories and those feelings, different mindset. It's like I can't feel what it's like to be back then anymore. I feel cut off, isolated, have to keep moving forward. It's no wonder the conservatives are getting more pissed off because things are no longer what they used to be, what they remembered, what they wanted. They want to bring back all those things and feelings. But does the younger generation actually want that damn crap in the first place? They wouldn't know it. They weren't there. They weren't there. My generation was. The previous generation for me was. I remember talking to older people when I was a younger kid and didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. There was no context. There never will be that kind of context. A translation for that. Unless we were already experiencing it in the same damn timeline. We're chewing the same time dirt, so to speak. We can't understand what it was like back then. We could try learning about the stuff, but we don't have a context for it or a perspective for it. We can throw in the book knowledge all we want. Unless we live through it, unless we chewed on it, unless we experienced it, there's no way in hell. Unless, of course, we want the memories and pain to come back and biting us in the ass or smacking upside the head on this one. And that's how I'm feeling it. That's how I'm experiencing it right now. That's what's going through me right now. So I don't understand. I don't comprehend it. You know, it was kind of hard enough trying to collect some material from back then, trying to recapture back then. Some of the stuff I've got up here, or probably most of it anyway, is stuff from back when. Everything I got in here seems like it's back when. But because I grew up with it, I'm somewhat comfortable with it. And I'm not comfortable with new stuff. Because if I grew up around the time regarding the stuff I've got, I'm familiar with it. New stuff takes me a harder time trying to get used to. I'll try to get used to cell phones. Laptops I grew up with. Laptops, I grew up around a computer age. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with it. With all these newfangled crap coming out, I'm not. Newfangled ideas I can try understanding. But going back in the past, wouldn't it have been nice and great if we actually had this again? No. But why? It was never ours to begin with. It was never ours to begin with, Rev. We lived through it. We survived through it. We remember it. And yeah, we can try to remember the tastes, textures, feels, color schemes. We could try remembering what it was like back then through our own experiences, through our own youth. But it's not going to be the same in this time. And that's the thing that people don't realize. I could shove my head with a hell of a lot of knowledge from back then. A lot of book knowledge, but unless I've already walked through it, it doesn't mean a damn thing. I'm just filled with facts and figures, and that's about it. But unless I already had the time perspective, there's no way in hell I can figure this crap out. And understand the conservatives' panic and fear and disillusionment, disappointment, whatever you would call it these days. With things what used to be what they liked. And I can't go back. Not mentally or physically or anything else. I can't go back. It's not a refusal. I wouldn't. Because if I actually went back and I actually had the experiences, the knowledge I had right back then, say goodbye to our history right now as it is. But the thing is, I don't think I'd be able to change that damn things. Memories are one thing to remember the stuff, and I remember the good and the bad. I remember the pain and the joy of it. But I can't do what they want me to do, what they would want. If I was the only person on the earth could actually challenge them on this, and they want me to change, I'd say I can't. If I ask me why not, because it's no longer mine. I'm no longer there. I'm no longer in that presence. I'm no longer in that perspective. I'm no longer in the context. I'm no longer there. Why do I have to go? Because you want to go back? Let you go back. Fine. But buried in the damn pages. And yeah, there have been places I wanted to go back and revisit, but they're no longer here in the physical presence. Hell, there was a cafeteria out there in North Hollywood I liked a lot. It was called Shabers. Very cheap prices for cafeteria food. And it wasn't all that bad either. They used one type of macaroni and cheese that you could still find in the frozen food. You heard of Stouffer's before, right? Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. A lot different than the Kraft macaroni and cheese when you get out of that damn box, or the Velveeta crap, or the powdery cheddar. But it's one thing when you're using the different cheeses on it to make the stuff. I never could make a natural one. It was always artificial crap. Or go to someone else's place and eat theirs version of it. Or reheat up something out of the frozen. It just really puts me out of my loop there, dude. I remember those things. The old Shakey's Pizzeria. Out here is a Southern California thing. I don't know if they're expanded anywhere else, but for a long time. Shakey's Pizzeria. Shakey'sPizza.com. Or just Shakey's.com. Locations? Southern California. Orange County. San Bernardino, Riverside, San Diego, Northern Cal, Washington State. I don't think it's reached your area yet. They got distinctive flavors concerning about the pizza regarding their potatoes as they fix them in the chicken. They would have buffets. See, I can remember way back when, and I can remember some of the feelings and memories of places like that. We can try substituting what the flavor of the pizza would be. And I couldn't. I hadn't had a Shakey's Pizza in a hell of a long while. There's a distinctive way that they would make it and flavor. They try it over at Domino's, but they can't seem to get it. Pizza Hut's got their own flavor for it, their own way of cooking. Different. I miss the chicken, I miss the potatoes, and I miss the damn pizza. And now I'd have to go and do an all-day trip just to go to one particular place and feel part of it. And the problem is they don't deliver. I'd have to use a delivery service for that one. Maybe some other time. Said before, when it puts you into a nostalgic feeling, it's like you still want to be there, but you're not part of it. You're a shadow. Now, how did you think, if I want to do this in a different format here, if you were Scrooge, not just with the mentality that he had, but let's just say that you had the three ghosts visit you, okay? And the ghost of the past would bring you through your memories. Now, how would you be feeling when you're looking through your memories at them? You're a regular person, but you're going through the memories and you want to reach out and touch them. You try to remember what they were like, but maybe there are other memories that you didn't want to touch. You'd feel the disconnection there. You wanted to make the changes. You wanted to do something that changes everything, but you couldn't. That's how nostalgia feels for me. I can look at it, cry about it, mourn it. I can't do a damn thing to fix it. And there's no way I can. And even if I could, I'll be fixing a hell of a lot of things. I'll be changing a lot of things more than what I realize. So how am I not supposed to be able to deal with that? I can say, yo, you don't understand. You just don't understand. No, try me on that one. Try me on that one. Yeah. I guess I'm really feeling too damn old these days. It's like no wonder I find more comfort in a damn bed in the dreams than I do about it in real life right now. Real life scares the hell out of me, and the fantasies I actually have in my head are memories of the past, somewhat. I remember going to a few pizza parlors in my dreams, or a cafeteria. I didn't realize that they had different things that I wasn't paying attention to. But all I paid attention to was the long tables and the food in front of me. And the macaroni and cheese. It's no wonder I feel older and shit. I'm feeling it. I feel like one of these here days I'm not going to wake up. I'll be stuck somewhere else and probably won't come back. I feel so damn old and out of place and out of touch sometimes. Stuck in replaying a dream over and over again for all eternity. It's either a personal heaven or personal hell, however you want to look at it. Things are supposed to be new, vibrant, not shadowy. Not shadowy. Try explaining this to a therapist who's about a decade and a half or 2 decades younger than I am. She doesn't have the context. She doesn't have perspective. She'll listen to a lot of people, but she doesn't have it. But I like the kid anyway. But, she's stressing. Anyway, I think I stressed you out enough too. I gotta see what she wants. We'll talk. The Maltese.